All right, now we're going to review overall what we thought of the candidates and their personability. So, Prendeville first.
All right, well, Prendeville relied heavily on the fact that he's already been on city council. He has established himself as a city councilman before. So he was kind of leaning towards the audience using retrospective voting. Show what he's done for the city already, like look at the times, I've done good things, stuff like that.
Yeah. Also, overall, he had great stage presence. He seemed super relaxed, like he belonged there. He was supposed to be on stage talking with those people. All of his answers were really well formulated. He filled up the time requirements really well. He had authority, and he was calm and collected, and he showed the three critical things for a political candidate. He showed integrity, competence, and reliability all throughout, by saying he had done this before, and he expected to just continue the good work.
All right.
Okay, so the next candidate is Fitch, and she emphasized that she was a fiscal conservative. She said that multiple times. But that was probably good because most people in the audience seemed like they were conservative, so she was definitely appealing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then she drank water often, which seemed unusual and slightly awkward. So
it was just a little distracting.
Yeah, and it was distracting, so that was definitely a downside for her. But we think that if Prendeville does not win, she definitely has a chance coming up behind him to possibly win.
Her stage presence, it was just kind of a little awkward. It made you a little uncomfortable, like with the water drinking a lot. It was just kind of, she felt distant. And when she answered, she was very competent. She was she knew what she was saying, but I don't know, just what she was saying was kind of, I don't know, just looking at her, I was kind of like, ooh.
She was strong.
She was a very strong woman.
Yeah.
Which also can kind of help her a lot because the League of Women Voters were the group that was hosting this function, so there was a lot of their members there. So her being a woman running for city council, that helped her case in that sense.
All right, the last candidate we're going to review was Almiron. Mr. Almiron, he seemed overall the least prepared. He had slow responses, he said a lot, and he went off topic. It was hard to get a direct answer from him. He answered one or two questions very well, but other than that, they seemed kind of like he was panicked to get an answer out in time and to try to sound competent, but he just seemed kind of frazzled.
And a lot of the time, I noticed he actually went over the allotted time.
Mm-hmm.
He was never really under. He went over it most of the time. And what I also noticed at the beginning was he actually walked in about a minute or two before the forum was going to begin. So he was kind of late since they had that little meet and greet thing. And he also went off the others questions, not questions, answers. He took their points. He didn't really have his own formulated opinions kind of. And he also, when he was like sitting and everything, he didn't really have like a nice like collected presence. Like he was kind of sitting with like his face in his hand, and like he'd be rubbing his eyes and stuff. So he just looked like very like uninterested in the other candidates and like what was going on.
All right.
Good. Okay. So now we're gonna cut.
Alright, now we're back.
And now we're back. Alright. So now we're gonna go down the line and say which candidate we think will end up winning and being on city council. Dahlia?
Okay, so I think Mr. Prendeville has a very good chance because he was very put together and just I feel like I could trust him.
Mm-hmm. I think Prendeville will end up winning. I might have voted for Fitch, but I think Prendeville will end up winning.
Who are you voting?
Anyway.
I think Prendeville will win as well. He just held so much of the audience's trust. Like, if I had a baby, I would have handed it to him and been like, hold my baby. I don't know. He seemed like the candidate that was trustworthy, and you wanted him to run your city.
Yeah, and me too. I also think for Pringle to win, just like all of them said, that he seemed like he would do the best job, and he seemed like he deserved that spot and would fit well over the other candidates.
Yep.
Huzzah!
All right.